Hello, all. Thank you guys for tuning in and subscribing to Just Be Audrey Lane. Thank you so much for coming on and being a part of the process. So, I want to give you guys a date. Today is Saturday, July 24th, 2021. I am like tired. I really am. I had a wonderful day today, like a really wonderful day. So the tiredness is like coming out of nowhere. I think like I could possibly be still a little bit worn out from, the plane. I don't know. But I'm gonna keep on pressing and keep on going because I just been having a little bit of a lot coming to me at one time today. And what I mean by that is it came to me to like keep on walking, keep on, rise up, keep on walking, rise up. And I'm like, what is that? Like, a lot of things have been coming at me today of like, you know, just reinsurance of like, God, you really are truly moving some things and moving me in ways that I never thought. Isn't it wonderful when we serve a God that moves in His timing and moves without us even knowing, and we end up somewhere and we're like, I just had to keep smiling and laughing. I'm like, God, this has to be you. It has to be you because I don't even know how I got here. It truly has to be you. You have to be doing this, and it's amazing. It's amazing. I don't take it for granted. You know, a lot of the times I sit and I say to myself, you know what, girl, give God His glory. And I have to do that because I know it's not me. You won a calmness and a joy and a peace. I never had this before. So to have it now, it's like, okay, amazing. All right, God, I see it. It's got to be you. Thank you. And just keep on moving and keep on moving. So I was corresponding with um, some people and like trying to get some things put in place for my birthday next month, as well as trying to get things put together because I want to have some goals that I put in place for um, the month of August to be completed. Um, and all I can do is like trust God and trust this process because it's so funny that I now get the statement and it's not, I don't know if you would say it's a statement, but I now truly get where it says faith without works is dead. So I have the faith and all this faith that things are working out and things are going forth. And now putting all the works into this process is just amazing to me that I am showing up and doing. And that is just really, really good. It really gives me peace to actually do that. To really truly trust and rely on God. It's wonderful and amazing for me. You know, even with things going on around me. I mean, just a calmness and a stillness of just, man, this has to be God. I I don't want you out there to ever question it. I don't think that you should. I know for me, I'm not going to. It's okay when we don't know where a peace and where just this gentleness is coming from inside of us. I would say for myself, I truly know that it has to be God. To just have a peace, a calmness, and a joy. And those three have been staying with me and sitting with me for a while. So we had a while ago, you know, a gentleman customer be a little bit, um, probably a little bit disrespectful. And this was a while ago. I want to say like maybe like early April, March, and he came in today totally different, nice, respectful, pleasant, and really actually engaged in a conversation with us. And all I could do is say, and even my boss said that maybe he just was having a bad day, and we both had to like, yeah, it's possible. It's very possible. And what makes me bring that up is sometimes you can just be having a bad day, or someone could be having a bad day. I know for myself, I don't want to get into someone else's head. I have enough with my own. So I don't want to get into someone else's head. A lot of the times for me, I just open up my ears and listen. You know, not wanting to get into someone else's head, because, you know, that can be, you could put a thought in there that they wasn't even thinking, you know. So that's where listening comes into play for me. So I am so grateful that God shows up and tells me how to deal in situations. And it also reveals a little bit of how I would act in those kind of situations. Like, so if the roles were reversed. And it's like, man, I gotta do better. And I'm not just saying this. I, I I'm quite sure I definitely, and not saying quite, I know for sure I've had some incidents of bad customer service, and I kind of voiced it out. But I will say this, it's how you go about doing it. And this gentleman, actually, for him to come in today after it was like the very first time we had an interaction with him, it was really just sweet and pleasant today. And yeah, he didn't apologize, but I didn't need an apology. You know, the fact that he came in and nice and held the conversation, man, to be honest with you, I truly did forget all about it. I didn't hold it, you know, with him. I didn't even know really that it was him again until I looked at his face, and then I was like, oh, okay, that is the gentleman. Because my boss and I were talking like, it's weird. It's like something familiar, but couldn't pinpoint it. There's no need for us to have nasty attitudes. Very well, we could have been having a bad day, just like I said. Could have been just a bad day. So we have to make sure for ourselves that we always reflect and always treat people exactly how we want to be treated. So if we are having a bad day, don't take it out on anyone. I'm learning that how you feel, and how everything that's going on with you does not mean it does not give you permission to then go treat someone else any old way. It doesn't. And trust me, it's hard. It's hard at times. But one, don't never put yourself in a victim status of, well, they don't understand what I'm going through. Yeah, they may not. And why I say they may not, because put yourself in the shoes of, did you know what was going on with you, and how you know you can get help? No. So there's no need for us to hold it against them, or to you know, make them, like, oh, well, let me tell you who did it. No. Still handling people on a really respectful level, a truly respectful level, and handling people with care is my main thing of what I want to do and what I want to accomplish in life. I don't want to reflect nasty, bad attitudes towards people, because that's not productive thinking or living. So that actually, believe it or not, kind of brightened my day, to actually have this gentleman come and be really respectful and really just nice and talk with us, and then wave by and everything to us. And there was no need to even hold no attitude. I didn't went on right after he left, handling the next person. And it was like, okay, wow. That my whole attitude towards things have truly changed. Your attitude towards things will change. And how I say that is because you'll find out that things that used to kind of sit and bother you don't even, you don't even want to think about them. I know for myself, I got tired of holding hurt, and picking up more hurt and carrying it on, and just becoming where it was like a thing to do. Once you let it off and let it go, man, it truly changes everything, because you're no longer carrying around unnecessary baggage. And how about this? You don't even need any other baggage, because when you're carrying around something that is really destroying you, it weighs you down. It's toxic. Don't truly think about it. Don't move right on to what is a gratefulness, and a blessing. Look at the positive in the situation. It's okay for you to look at the positive in any situation and not focus on the negative. It's okay, because you're growing. You want to be fully nurtured and fully um, mature in a situation. Don't think kiddish. Don't think pride. Don't think ignorance. Arrogance is something. We don't want that. That's not even do the pointing of the fingers, and that's hard. Trust me, that's hard. But like my aunt, she says it often. You go ahead and you point the finger. When you point your finger, look, 3 is pointing back at you. So you pointing the 1 out, but 3 is coming right back at you. So no need for us to point fingers and blame anyone. Let it go. The productive day I had is also, even with all of that, it's a learning tool for me, a correction. That's productive. That is a productive day. Don't never look at it as it not being one, because correction helps us grow. It helps us see that, oh, okay, this situation kind of was like this, but it didn't turn into this. Oh, it really wasn't even like that, and I see it differently. Oh, I don't know what it was, but I approach it differently now. And that's a great thing. Don't knock it. Trust me, you'll be sitting there like how I am now, it amuses me, like, oh my goodness, that I don't go into this crazy kind of thinking. One, overthinking. That's crazy in itself, just overthinking a situation. I had to kind of say that to myself today, you know, with everything of really trying to be with my cousins and for their father's funeral. And it just cannot happen. I really was going to go down there and drive, but it just could not happen for me. The time frame will be off. And then I was like, well, maybe you can rent a car. But then it's like, do I rent a car when I would have to take it back? I possibly could not take it back because I will be at work. So I had to like let it go. Trust me, it hurts. I would love to be down there with my family. It just can't happen. And I have to be okay with it. And I'm like, God, this is truly you, because I just have a calmness and a joy with it. You know, just a calmness and a joy. You better know that God has us, you know, it is literally a process. It's a process of our thinking, it's a process of our feelings, and it's a process of just like trusting God. I can't tell you all of how it came about, but when everything started happening within my marriage and things were going crazy, I wanted to fix things and try to, you know, mend things, and it just kept coming up and happening again and again. And I was like, well, you've done it before, try to fix it. And then finally I had to say no more. Because to surrender, and how about you can kind of know something, so you can know and hear it, and it can be where you're hearing it and hearing it and hearing it, of just surrender, and you think it's just something of throwing up your hands and giving it to God. There's work that goes into it. So doing the work is actually what gives you the surrendering of, okay, God, I see it now. I see that it's more to it than just throwing up my hands and saying, I surrender to you. I truly have to give it over to you, and that requires the work of really letting it go, to like cutting all of it off and truly giving it to you. For you to remove it, I have to actually give it to you. That literally it requires me to lift it up out of me and truly give it to Him. And just that surrender right there is peace. I cannot really truly explain it to you. That right there you may not actually get, because I don't know a way of actually giving it out to you, other than you will know when you truly surrender. Things will start coming at you, and I swear it like you dodging stuff, like you, it's like, wow, without you even knowing, you're wondering how something that broke you actually now is not even giving you a scratch. You know, I I really can't explain how life has been going for me. I really can't explain how my house is just at peace. You know, I I love when, you know, God reveals things to me of just a quiet stillness of you're okay because I have you. And that's a wonderful thing. My kids said to me not that long ago, um, like, Mom, and I have to like tell them, like, okay, so when the house is just quiet and stillness like this, it is just peaceful. But we somehow still get together and make sure we mix and mingle and have fun and laugh and joke. But it's so different because my husband is out of town, and I don't bring it up. But it just seems like whenever my kids come to me with it, it seems to be when he's out of town and he's not here. And that's so peaceful to me. It really is. It's peaceful that they're my kids. One, I don't know how to have a conversation with them. I was talking to my therapist about this, of how do I have a conversation with my children about what's going on, because I want their take and how they feel, but I also don't like to cross boundaries of a parent, a mom. You can't dig and scratch stuff up and then don't have where they can truly get it off and out of them. So a lot that's going on, I don't really have a way of handling it with my children just yet. I talk with them and I hear them. More importantly, I let them talk to me. They ask me what's going on. I tell them a little bit, but they're my children, so they're not who I voice things out to. That's why I truly love my counselor. I do. I love my therapist, and I love my life coach, because it's where I can voice things out, and it's amazing because they're my children. We have to be cautious of that yeah, you may be getting things up and out of you, but then it goes attached onto them, and we don't need them carrying around baggage. They're children. It's so funny. My daughter said to me not that long ago, um, she said, "Mom, you used to always say to me, I am not your friend, I am your mother. I am not your friend, I am your mother." And we were driving somewhere, and I said something to her, and she was like, "Well, Mom, that's something like a friend would say and everything." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, well, I'm your mother." And they're like, "Yeah, we know, because you always tell us you are not our friend, you are our mother." But I do have a relationship with my children, a friendly relationship, but I will always say that I am your mother. I do believe a true thing of, no matter what's going on in my home, you honor and respect your father. You honor and respect your mother. That's just what it says in the Bible. That's what I've been taught, and that's what I'm teaching my children. It's so easy to truly rely and trust in God's word, because in doing that, that's obeying Him. And He truly actually has me. He truly has my children. He gives us peace in that. That's where I know, for me, when He instructs me on how to handle things, that is going to be peace in it when I carry it out as He told me, as He shows me. And that's amazing. Today has been a day of just gratitude. Actually, like, just being like, man, when my mind wanted to kind of race, really, I ain't have to do anything but say Jesus, and it was like he was doing the kickboxing and the fighting and all of that stuff. Because where this gentleman was nice, that was amazing. Wow. Another customer who comes in all the time, lovely gentleman, actually, you know, get stuff, and then my big boss is like, hey, you take this and go buy yourself lunch. And I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna buy lunch. One, I went to Jamaica, and even though I lost weight because I knew I was going to eat the food there, you cannot go to Jamaica and not eat the food. But I gained back about 4 pounds out of the 7 I lost. I'm like, oh no, I'll take the money, but I'm actually going to put it into my nonprofit. And it shocked them. Like, you have a nonprofit? Yes, I'm starting a nonprofit. I already have it into the making as of September of last year, 2020. And it's going, it's moving. So I thank you that this money will be lunch later on down the line for families that's coming into the nonprofit, into the organization. So thank you. I appreciate it. Another thing with today was, I don't know what is going on, but the tiredness, yawning at work and everything, that just is like, oh my goodness, how is that? But I had to be like, I'm not really tired. I don't know what's going on. I know my health is wonderful. Thank you, Jesus. Maybe my body just needs more oxygen. I can tell you what it definitely needs that I've been actually having struggles with is water. Is water. I drink it, but I probably get down 1 liter of water a day. And I say thank you for that, because that's a struggle for me. So I need to, because God has been telling me you need to water what is down inside of you. Water what is down inside of you. So maybe I need to set a goal along with that. Maybe for August, let me see, because it's 31 days. Let me see if I can get 30, double it, 32 liters of water down twice. So that, actually 62 liters of water for the whole month. 2 liters a day. And that's a lot, because I'm telling you, I struggle with drinking water. Can't tell you why, I just do. So I would say today has been a day of information, a day of a lot of just happiness, a calmness, a day of sharing and talking with people on just growth, a day of, I'm texting one of my customers who he's a friend to, and like putting him up to a challenge, because when I talked to him the other day, he's supposed to be getting some things set up for his house, and I'm like, okay, are you doing them today? You make sure. I'm gonna have to call your wife and tell her, like, look, you don't know. But it's so funny because husbands always will kind of say what they're doing, and they have like this whole bucket list. I just know a lot of contractors who are contractors. They can do a wonderful thing in other people's homes, but when it comes to their homes, There is always under veneration. It's always because they get something so right, but as soon as they get it done, they didn't change it around. It's so funny, and that's like one of his things. That's like one of his things. So his wife and I always joke about that because I pretty much know what their house looked like outside of the pictures because I sell him a lot of the stuff that he uses to fix up his house. But he always is changing things around, and it's wonderful because I think his son will be leaving soon, next year for college, and I want to say it's been years. Hmm. Yeah, I think so. But it's like, man, I have to get into like getting this water and everything in my body. I have to be getting more of instructions into my body, getting more of just a. It's so funny that I have a lot of gratefulness and a lot of thankfulness towards God, and I truly, 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 truly love Him and trust Him. However, I know I need a lot of more work done that I should be doing on my part for Him. So I have to make sure I do it. I have to not just show up, but actually do more work. I no longer get like, oh, you've been doing this and you've been doing this too long. No, I truly believe there's a reason for it because when I was going to start doing the stuff in my nonprofit a while ago, I wasn't able to do it because of the person who was helping me, Tom. COVID really had a lot of things put back on the back burner because my nonprofit has been really going and certainly in the midst of when COVID first started. And now it's actually getting better and better for me. I don't know sometimes of how to get things going a little bit better, but I trust that August will be definitely a full-fledged come on, get going, get moving, let's get it done. And I have like two more things that I have to do for it, and then it will come on to actually getting you know um, more finance part. But I'm not worried about the financial part because I know that's going to come. That's going to come, like, yeah. But it's other parts that go into it. Because your girl is learning. I am truly learning. This woman right here is learning that it's not an easy process, but it's a process worth fighting for and worth just keep on pressing and pushing into, because it's not about me. It's about what God needs and wants me to do for Him. You know, have it where people can find employment, for people to get better in the employment they are, for them to have career-based jobs, for them to actually go back to school, for their children to be able to go to school, for you know there to be housing in effect. That's, man, that requires me to do work. It requires me to actually trust God and move forward. I have read a text message today that I actually had sitting in my phone for a while, and all I could do was smile and laugh off of it. Of thank goodness that you no longer hold on to like that crazy thinking of wow, it's been 2 months, and that's because it's like if you hold on to it, that's actually a distraction to where God is trying to take you. So what that, because I had a business coach helping me um, with some nonprofit stuff, and he wasn't able to kind of do it any longer because he had some other issues himself. And the text message, when I read it, all I can do is say it kind of happened the way that it happened for a reason, because I had other things in my life that came up that possibly, you know, I wouldn't have been able to actually keep the meetings, but I love the fact that, you know, it didn't stop. It's just low in the process because it's actually going to benefit, I want to say both of us when it's time. Because also I would like to say that it required me to do more work myself, because I had to do more writing out and reading in everything and all the guidelines and stuff. So that's where God is truly like, okay, I have it, just wait, be patient, it's going to happen. It's just going to be where I have to, let me not speak for him, but basically it's going to happen. So I just have to wait, do the work on my end, because he's actually doing all the big heavy lifting and moving, and it's going to happen. So you better know that that's how God works. Things may happen, but he wants to know, are you still going to continue to push? So this happened. Are you going to let this get you down and not move, or are you going to keep on moving? Find other ways for you to get up and go. Collect yourself and move on. And that's a great, wonderful thing. And I know him and I will be working together in very shortly, but I'm not going to ask him to stop dealing with what he has to deal with, because it would be, if it roles were reversed, him asking me to stop dealing with what I am dealing with to get what he needs done. Nope, I can wait. That gives me more time to invest in this area of it, so that when we meet back up, that part will be done and we can move on to the next. Because I have the guidelines and I have the information and all the tools and the instructions on how to do it. So let me go forth and do it on my own and see exactly for myself how things will benefit. So that's a great thing. We're not stalled. There's nothing that stalls us. If anything, of what it does is it shows us that we can do this and trust God in the process. And sometimes we may have to do it on our own, so that, one, for me, you know the information for yourself. You know it for yourself. You know how to do it. So if it comes up later, you know exactly what to do, and you won't need as much help, because you'll know what to do, and then you can get help within it. But you don't have to worry about it being done for you and you just showing up and being there. You want to know it for yourself. You want to know it for yourself. So you talking about a great day of just information coming, a great day. Even with the finance part, that was still information because I was able to get my nonprofit up and out. Where he was like, "Oh, I didn't even know you were doing this." Yeah, because it's not up and running just of yet, but it will be. Yeah. So great things are always happening for me and to me. I thank him for that. Great things has truly been happening to me and for me. Man, the surrender, man, I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it. With increase comes increase. Thank you, Jesus, for it. I thank you guys so much for coming along in this process with me. Thank you for celebrating and participating. Who are you? Are you being your just be God given wonderful name? Have you turned it over to God where He's going to reveal you to you and just brighten you up and bold you, give you boldness, strengthen you? Go ahead and do it. Release yourself over to Him. Trust me, it's going to be a process that's worth it. Because you are worth it. Don't you want to know who you are? How He sees you? What He has in you? Don't you want to trust God enough to be like, okay, God, it has to be you, not me? Because how I would have reacted doesn't even come to my mind. When I want to think a certain way, you shut it down and you remove it and take it from me. And you have me notice where I am. Don't worry about where you were. Where I am now, for me to trust that where you are taking me, where He is taking you, man, that's trust. That's relying on Him. And that's a good reliance because He always show up, because He's just always there for us. So I thank you guys for subscribing to Just Be Audrey Lane. I think it's on the left. Not sure. But I thank you guys so much for subscribing, liking, sharing on YouTube. I thank you so much on all of the social media Just Be Audrey Lane platforms. I truly do thank you. I love you. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I will be on tomorrow because it will be Sunday. And only God knows how it will be. But I thank Him for it in advance. So I love you. Make sure you love yourself. You have a wonderful evening. I love me. And more importantly, I love God. I thank you guys. Have a great, wonderful evening. Rest up. And I will be with you tomorrow. Bye now.